Welcome back to Good Game Reviews. Here to do another game prediction. We're gonna try to do this real fast. Even though this is the playoff matchup, this is the wild card weekend. Even though this is the Titans coming to the Patriots battle stomping grounds, um, we're gonna try to wrap this up really fast. Um, Starting off with the QB matchup, of course, we got Ryan Tannehill from the Tennessee Titans, previously from the Miami Dolphins. We pretty much familiar with Ryan Tannehill. We've dealt with him for a few seasons, and I mean he's done pretty well. He's looked like one of the best passers as of late, if not the best passers. He has a passer rating of 117. Uh, he has a little bit over 2,000 passing yards, but he's managed to put up 22 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. He's looked pretty good, considering that he's also only played 12 games, and Tom Brady, who has played all of the games this season, he only has 24 touchdowns and has 2 more interceptions. Um, so usually I wouldn't give Ryan Tannehill the advantage in this matchup, but since he's been doing a little bit better than Tom Brady has, I would go ahead and give that matchup to Tom Brady. Um, as far as not, I wouldn't give that matchup to Tom Brady. I'll give the matchup to Ryan Tannehill because Ryan Tannehill has looked better as of late. As far as the running back situation goes, I would also give that to Tennessee. Um, mostly because of Derrick Henry. I mean, this guy he's as good as a runner as the Patriots are going to see in these playoffs. Probably the best runner, minus Dalvin Cook. This guy is a beast. Um, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure he leads the league in rushing touchdown, or he ties the league ties as far as like the top in rushing touchdowns with 16. I think one other person in the playoffs who has 16 rushing touchdowns is uh, Aaron Jones from the Green Bay Packers, but that's in the NFC. Um, but yeah, Derrick Henry has been pretty good. I think ever since like the second half of last season, he's really come into his own. He's really just cleaned up his style, and he's established himself as that starting running back. And I don't think he's in danger of ever losing that role again, or losing playing time to players like Deion Lewis and other running backs, because he's certified himself in there as like, all right, I am the guy. I need to start acting like it. And this season he has been just phenomenal. Um, as far as the wide receiving, well, as far as the Patriots running back game, Sonny Michel, he managed to break 900 again this season, but I mean he hasn't had the best season, but then again he hasn't really had the best O line to work with. Um, but he's also cleaned it up late as of late. He's been doing a lot better in these last few couple of games. His average has been higher in terms of what he's able to get on the ground. Um, early on in the season, you were seeing things like 3.4 and 3.3. Now he's getting like 4.2s and 4.1s and stuff like that. He's starting to elevate his play coming into these playoffs. So that's good to see. But I mean, Derrick Henry is like 5.1. I mean, this guy is just a monster on the field. So I have to give it to the Titans. As far as the wide receiving options, I would give this one to. Um, I would give the wide receiving side to the Titans. Only because you have AJ Brown. he's balling out in his first season, and he's pretty much their best receiver. Corey Davis is like right under him, around like 600 yards. He's doing pretty good. The Patriots on this side, like the Patriots, Julian Edelman, he has the most yards out of anybody who's going to be on the field. He has 1,117 yards, um, and 6 touchdowns. But James White is like the second guy right under him with 645, and he's a running back. So I mean, I look at it like that. Like if we're looking at Philip Dorsett, he has 397. So he's almost coming into like 400. He's right there, but he hasn't even really started like that. He's lost time to guys like Jacoby Myers. He's lost time to Mohamed Sanu, obviously. He's lost time to N'Keal Harry. So all of these guys coming onto the field, I mean, looking at Philip Dorsett's numbers, if you looked at the numbers, you would think Philip Dorsett would be like one of those main guys who's on the field most of the time, but that's not the case. He's actually, like, out of all those guys that I mentioned, he has the least amount of time on the field, just because he just doesn't produce. He's the fastest guy out of all the receivers. He has 4.3 speed, but the guy just, for some reason, he rarely is able to get open. I mean, they just don't really trust him like that, and because of that, he doesn't get the play time. You have all of these other guys starting like in his place, and at a position where you would want some speed, he's pretty much the fastest guy on there, but he's not starting. It's just because he doesn't really produce like you would want him to, even though he is second in terms of the touchdowns that he scored with 5. So you would think that, I mean, it's just a very weird situation, with him. But yeah, Philip Dorsett, with all that speed, it's just he's just not the guy. So I would give that matchup to the Titans as far as the wide receivers. As far as the tight ends, I would also give this matchup to the Titans because of Janu Smith. Janu Smith is done, kind of man. I mean, he has 439 yards on the season. He averages 12.5 yards per catch. He has 3 touchdowns. Nothing too impressive when you look at all the tight ends who have come into the playoffs as a whole. He's kind of like a blimp on the screen in terms of the tight ends, but he's doing a lot better than what we have. I mean, our best guy is Ben Watson. That's our best guy is Ben Watson. I don't even think he was able to get a touchdown this year. I mean, Matt LaCarlson, Ryan Izzo was able to get a touchdown this year, and they're definitely not the best tight ends who are on this field. But it's just tight end has been a struggle for the Patriots, and that's just the story. I mean, but yeah, I'll give that matchup to the Titans. As far as the O-line matchup, I would, what? As far as the O-line matchup would go, I would give that matchup to the Patriots, only because they haven't really been the best at protecting their quarterback. The Titans have not been the best at protecting Ryan Tannehill at certain points in the season. So, I mean, he's definitely open. He's definitely open for some bruising. If anybody can give it to him, it can be the Patriots. The Patriots O-line is, I'm not saying that they're anywhere near as good as some of the best O-lines that we have coming into the playoffs, but they've done a little better as of late, and they've done better than the Tennessee Titans O-line has done. They protected Brady a little bit more, but Brady has also got the ball out of his hands faster, than pretty much ever before, because at certain points, guys would just break down and it like, oh well, I got to get this ball out of my hands. I can't get sacked. I can't take a sack. Um, so I wouldn't give all the credit to to the to the Patriots O line. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and give that matchup to the Patriots, just because the Tennessee Titans haven't really been able to protect Ryan Tannehill that well. So yeah. As far as the defensive end position, um, with this position, I would have to go with the New England Patriots. I know they have Cameron Wake, and he's a really good defensive end, really good defensive end. But his numbers are a little low in terms of the season. He only has like 2.5 sacks, one pass deflection. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's probably, causing pressure out there, but it hasn't really been like that much of a factor, in my opinion. Only played 9 games, but still not really anything to really worry about. Their sack numbers as a whole are, I mean, not really that impressive to me. Just been kind of, I mean, if there's anybody to really worry about, it's the linebackers on their team. That's the real, worry that that the Patriots have to worry about is the linebackers. But the defensive ends, not really too much of a concern, at least in my eyes, looking at the numbers. But as far as the Patriots defensive ends go, Lawrence Guy, I mean, he's been all right, but he's played more of a defensive tackle role because you don't usually see him on the ends. You usually see the linebackers on the ends for the Patriots. If there's one defensive end that I would say has been pretty good, would be John Simon. He's pretty much been the best defensive end that we had. Chase Winovich, he's kind of coming to. I mean, he kind of started out pretty nicely. We haven't really heard much of his name, but I feel like he's gonna try to bring it as far as as far as the playoffs go. Deidre Wise has been kind of a letdown. I felt that he would pick up the slack when Trey Flowers had left. I felt like he was going to be that new guy, but he's kind of let me down in terms of his ability. So it's really like the two main guys that we're going to probably see is probably John Simon at the defensive end position. It's going to be John Simon. It's going to be Chase. But on the edges, we're going to see more of more of the linebackers. We're going to see more of Kyle Van Noy and more of Dante Hightower and Jamie Collins. Those are the guys that you're really going to see on the end. As far as the defensive ends, though, I would give that to the Patriots. As far as defensive lineman goes, I would, I would give that to the Patriots as well. Only because, like I said, it's mainly the linebackers who scare me for the Titans. Not really not really the defensive line. Even though they are not far away from us in terms of sacks. We have 47, but they have 43. But it's really like the linebackers that I'm more worried about, not the defensive tackles, not the defensive ends. Casey, if that's one guy that you would have to worry about for the Titans, it would be Casey, and he has 5 sacks on the season. So yeah, if that's one guy that you would have to worry about, then it would be him. As far as the Patriots go, Adam Butler, he's done pretty well. He has 6 sacks on the season. Shelton has done all right. I mean, Danny Shelton, he's only had like 3 sacks this whole season, but I feel like he adds more in terms of like stopping the run. So not really like a guy who's going to get into the backfield and get the quarterback down, but he's adds more to like just stopping that run. Uh, and like I said, Lawrence Guy has been more of a defensive tackle than a defensive end, even though that's what he's labeled as. He's been more of a defensive tackle. So that's pretty much what we're looking at in terms of the linebackers. Like I said, the Titans linebackers are really the guys that we have to worry about. Um, those are the guys who are going to make it hard for us. Rashaan Evans. Even though he doesn't have like the sack numbers, he's done pretty well in terms of tackling. He has like 69 solo tackles, so he's done pretty well. In terms of just sacks, though, if you want to like look at a guy, you would look at a guy like Harold Landry. He has 9 sacks on the season, 13.5 tackles for loss, 53 sack yards. He does his thing. You know, he also has an interception on the year. He has a forced fumble. He has 2 fumble recoveries on the year. So he's been balling out. He's been balling out. If that's one guy that you would have to like really look out for, then yeah, I would think like that's a guy that you would have to look out for. As far as the Patriots linebackers go, I still feel like the Patriots have the better, like as far as like linebackers are concerned. I feel like the Patriots are a little bit better. Now nobody on the Patriots team in terms nobody has 9 sacks, but I mean it's split pretty evenly. Jamie Collins has 7, Hightower has 5.5, Van Noy has 6.5. So it's pretty like, when we look at this group, I mean we can expect them to be like the main guys who are going to get pressure. If it isn't our defensive end or our defensive tackles, it's going to be one of our linebackers or 2 of our linebackers who are going to get into the backfield and bring the quarterback down. So I would give that matchup to the Patriots. So I believe that I gave the defensive end matchup to the Patriots. I gave the defensive line matchup to the Patriots, and I gave the linebacker position to the Patriots. Now we come into the cornerback position. I would also give that to the Patriots, mainly because, as we know, Malcolm Butler is not going to be in this game. Logan Ryan is going to pretty much take his spot in terms of his defensive duties. So that's pretty much who you got to work with. And then the Dory Jackson, he hasn't really been that impressive. Dory Jackson has not really been that impressive to me. So not really a guy that you would have to worry about, but definitely Logan Ryan is the guy that you would have to worry about. He pretty much leads the team in pass defended with 18. He has 4 interceptions. So that's the guy that you would have to worry about. He also has 4 forced fumbles. He doesn't have any recoveries, but he's getting the ball out, and I'm pretty sure he's gotten a little bit of that from that Patriots teaching, that punching the ball out, all that good stuff. He leads the team in solo tackles. He leads the team in total tackles. I mean, the guy is pretty much their best. He's pretty much their best guy on the defensive end side of the ball. In terms of the Patriots, though, there's one guy who, as far as the numbers go, has been a little bit better than him, and that's Stephon Gilmore with 20 pass defended and 6 interceptions. He has a fumble recovery. He doesn't have any forced fumbles, but he's also returned 2 of his interceptions for touchdowns. The guy has had a really good year. I mean, if we kind of like just cross out that matchup that he had against Parker in the Week 17 loss, the guy has been pretty phenomenal throughout this whole season. Maybe Week 17 was a fluke, but he's been pretty good throughout this whole season. Everybody else, J.C. Jackson, he's done pretty well. Uh, I mean, we have a squad. I mean, we have a squad, but we just need we just need our guys to really come in and you know just bring it. Last week was kind of a anomaly, I would say. So I feel like they would be able to snap into place and really like play as those high ranking cornerbacks that we've known them to be like. As far as the safety position, um, the Titans have one of the best safeties in Kevin Byard. Um, he has 9 passes defended, 5 interceptions. I believe he leads the team in interceptions. Um, he also has, as far as interception yards, 79, 28 long, 2 tackles for losses. He's been a baller in his own right. Kenny Vaccaro, he's a pretty good guy. I believe he was on the Saints before he made it to the Titans. So that's a pretty good guy right there. I believe at one point I was hoping that the Patriots would be able to snatch him up, but that didn't happen. Um, yeah, yeah, they have a pretty good as far as as far as safeties, they're pretty locked in there with those 2 guys. But the Patriots also have some pretty good guys on their side, and Devin McCourty and uh, Harmon. Also, I don't know the status of Tevin Brooks. He has been listed on the injury report, so I don't know the status of Terrence Brooks, but he's a pretty good guy. And Patrick Chung, he's had a pretty iffy year. Patrick Chung has had a pretty iffy year, uh, but if he's able to play in this game, I feel like he'll be able to bring his best. Um, Devin McCourty also has 5 interceptions. So if that's one thing that we can look at, then those are 2 things that they kind of share. He has 2 forced fumbles and 1 fumble recovery. So he's been doing his thing. He's been doing his thing. So if I were to give this matchup to anybody, I would give it to the Patriots as far as the safety matchup goes. As far as special teams, I would also give that to the Patriots. I don't think there's any other special teams out there that's really like doing as well as the Patriots. Not in terms of just like returning the ball, and also the Titans returners. They're not going to really be as far as like kickoff returners and punt returners. Their main guys aren't going to be in the game, so they're pretty much going to be dealing with their backups. And the Patriots, I feel like they could take advantage of that. Um, as far as just like the overall play of the Patriots special teams, 4 block punts. Um, they have touchdowns that they made of that. Matthew Slater also, if you haven't heard, Matthew Slater has made first team All Pro, second time in his career. Uh, well deserved. He's I mean he's been he's been solid like for as long as he's been on the team, and he's pretty much the heart of that special teams unit and one of the hearts of just the team overall. I don't know what they'll do without him. He's just phenomenal. Um, so as far as the special teams goes, I would give that to the Patriots. If there's one way that they could win this game, it could be through special teams. If they could find a way to win this game, if the special teams is able to, block punts and make the returners fumble the ball and give the Patriots good field position, I feel like that is a way that the Patriots could, you know, get a really good win in this game. Uh, as far as coaching goes, I would I would give this one to Bill Belichick. I know that they were able to get the better of us in the regular season last year. But this is the playoffs. This is usually where we shine. This is usually where they come up with the best plans, all the schemes, things that they draw up the night before and things like that. I feel like this is where they really come into their own. So I would give this to the Patriots. Um, as far as just everything lined up, as far as offensively, the Titans, they have us. But in terms of defense and special teams, the Patriots kind of take the advantage on that. If they can use that to their advantage, then this could be a victory for the Patriots. I mean, I don't think the Patriots are one and done. As much as people like to say, I don't think they're one and done. I feel like this just isn't the year for a Super Bowl. But as far as one and done, I don't think they're one and done. I feel like they could get this game. This is a game that they can win. And not only do I think they could win this wild card game, I think if everything works out, well, if they rely on the defense like they're supposed to, and they're able to keep up with this running game and all of that, I feel like they could make the AFC Championship game. I really do. Now, I think they would win the AFC Championship game against the Baltimore Ravens? I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. But I feel like they could, if they can just play the perfect, game plan going through all of these games in the playoffs, I feel like they could make it there. They can make it there, and I feel like this is a game right here in the wild card weekend. I feel like this is a game that they can make a statement and say, "Hey, I know things haven't been going all that well, and yet we're 12 and 14. We can show it right here. We can prove that we belong in the playoffs." I might think that they need to, just get everything together and try again next year, but this is a game where they can prove that they belong in the playoffs. Not necessarily that they can go to the Super Bowl and win it all, but I feel like this is a game right here that they can just say, we belong here. We're not one and done. So with that being said, comment, subscribe. Once again, that game is tomorrow, Saturday, 7:15 p.m. game. Yeah. So comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm out.